Hello everyone and welcome back to Vintage Story. Last game, built some pit kilns, a farm, cozy little cottage, and this raft to go exploring the Seven Seas. Or how many ever there are. So, if I've got my ore, we'll get right into that. Okay, what don't I need on me? Okay, clean up the inventory. This isn't. Yep, that's a crude ore. Eating berries. Home is set on the map so I won't get lost. Hello, Fern. How are you doing? Hello, Allison. Don't ride the... Go. We are going to take a trip over to that small bump way over there. So one of the reasons I wanted to build the raft is because it's a proper seafaring vessel, and you're meant to be able to put... No! Sorry, it's my first boat. This is what happens when it's your first boat. There we go. My boat has storage. Santa Bunny, it's great to see you. And Isaac, you made it. Oh, I am so sorry, everybody. I will change the name now. I am just a new little baby streamer. You have to be nice to me. There we go. All fixed. I hope. I don't need these flowers, so I'll just... Eh. It's okay. After these 3 hours, you can start making Final Fantasy references when Sephiroth comes back. So how is all of chat doing? How has everyone been for the last week? I ask as if I have not hung out with you since then. Good, Santa Bunny? Looking at my map, I have concluded I did not necessarily pick the smartest direction to go in. But this could be a much larger landmass. The other place could have been just an island. Congratulations! I haven't played the main campaign in years and years and years. Are you going to do the expansions? You can do the expansions of a Neverwinter Nights too? Wow, the US Constitutions are real? Yeah, I heard that if you cover a US Constitution in lemon water and then put it in the oven at 180 degrees Celsius, it shows maps or riddles. I saw that in a documentary called National Treasure. If I remember, one of the expansions got me very grumpy because they added like a mechanic to the game that made it feel like I couldn't take my time. Paddling my raft. I struggled to get past one of the mechanics, and it might have been that one, or it might have been the a different expansion I'm thinking of. But I struggled to get past the the thing that created a time limit that wanted to push you forwards. So I would be really eager into seeing someone else do it. I'll take away my inventory. No one needs to see that I'm just carrying 32 sticks. But this landmass is looking much bigger than my little island. Aim for those trees, because those trees look like they're at surface level. Yes, when I was making this world map, you get to choose how much of the world do you want to be ocean, and I think I asked for 40% of the world to be ocean, as well as try to connect the ocean so that you have just big ass islands. Because I wanted to mess around with the boat mechanics, such as this raft. You can have servers and stuff in your own games if you wanted, where there's like no oceans, just little lakes, just a little lake as a tree. Yes, yes. Thank you for reminding us that I decided to build my first farm right next to saltwater irrigation. I pick you up with. No, I can. Okay. This is the island that I paddled to. It might have good resources. I'm going to mention my map where my raft is. Oh. Wait, I'm sorry. Meteoric iron. Yep, so we've actually found one of the more rarer metals. Immediately and by accident. Meteoric iron. So I'm going to mark this on my map for later. We'll have to come back here much later when we've got much stronger tools. But yes, this lovely land of vintage story at one point was hounded by meteors that are still able to be found to this very day. There's a goat. There's a second goat. Wait, you're a tiny goat. I'm gonna start circling around to the greener area in hopes of finding some food. Yes, it doesn't look like there's much going on with this island. I can't at least tell what's going on without necessary tools to prospect. Okay, so this game is different to Minecraft by only really doing the block system that Minecraft does, and then just doing its own thing. It's much more based on survival games. Um, yeah, really, it started off as a Minecraft mod for people that wanted more survival. Ow, my knees. And it just grew into its own game. There is lore and stories that can be found and untold and explored. I might look into those. But right now I'm just a little bird in the Stone Age, trying to be a little bird in the Copper Age. So I have a torch, but if the torch is active in my hands when I get into the water, it will be put out. Oh wow. Yeah, you guys cannot see anything at all on my display. I didn't realize it was significantly more darker for you. So I will try to keep my torch out more often. There are light sources that don't require dryness, and I will try to get one of those as soon as I can. But I think I've concluded that this island kinda sucks for exploration. So I'm gonna try to paddle back to my raft, and I'll also look over to the moon so you can all see the pretty moon. And I almost got myself confused by the home icon, and I almost went swimming out into the ocean. I will I will do my best to get back to land. Once I'm back on land, then out comes the torch again. There we go. We can see again. knowing how dark it gets for the stream, I will try to prioritize getting a proper light source for you all. And till then, I will try to find a less swimming induced island. So night so it's 23:24 right now. In the bottom left hand corner you can see the day of the month, the temperature, wind direction, and the time of night. If I was still at the little home base that I had, I would probably just crawl into a bed and just sleep the night away. Back with my raft. I will delete my raft. And then, so, oh shit. Well, so you can actually put items in your offhand, such as this torch, and now you get to see me intimately make out with a torch, but you'll get a light source. Yeah, and this game has, depending on the season you're in, longer days and shorter days. The sun comes out earlier in the warm weathers and later in the colder weathers, so they like realism. But light realism. I was able to only have the core ingredients for the raft, for example. But yeah, that island was very mountainy, so I'm going to head up over to this greener island and hopefully have a nicer experience of exploring. I need to try to stick to the greener islands in these early stages because the majority of my food is what I find in bushes, and there are less bushes on the sand gravel islands. Step on my left, that's the home island right now. Hopefully there aren't any rabbits that have found my crops and I come home to a decimated harvest. That would be decimating. Still have my 32 sticks. But no, my farm can't farm them. Oh, you mean the bunnies can't farm themselves? Well, they kinda do, just not plants. Maybe I should try to make a bunny farm. Catch a bunch of, just catch a little bunch of bunnies, throw them into a cage, and then just put down a feeding pellet and just be like, do bunny stuff. I'll come back later for the meat and the small leather. They farm experiences. Okay, tiny little 3 pixel island right there. That's cute. Can just do a drive-by of this island, see if I can see any berry bushes. Yeah, that's probably my biggest nitpick with games that use this voxel block system is they always have such sheer mountains. And I understand you don't want your mountain to be, you know, 64 blocks wide on the ascent and the descent. But there's just so many sheer cliff faces in these sort of games, and I like open, relatively flat plains. So yeah, even though it looks like dawn is coming, it's not actually that close because down here you can see that it's still considered nighttime. It will change to the little sun icon and then things should be good to see. Hello, Cass. It's so nice to see you. Thank you for swinging by. Could could you put a festive hat on for me? Oh, sorry. Would you prefer me to say colorless queen? Oh no, you lost the K? Just like in One Piece, Ace had one of the letters in his name stolen? Ah, it's a nice for exploring sized island, but it has an impenetrable coastal cliff. But I'm gonna circle around it, see if I can find a nice way to get up there. Fractal, no, not the Santa hat. We won't be able to tell them apart. The technically nice thing is, like up here, I can see some. Those are going to be in the future mineable resources. That one looks just like flint, but you know, at least when I've got sheer rock cliff faces, yep, here's some more. You can at least see some easy things to mine. There's more of it down here. Looks like flint. That's what those big circles usually look like. Put on some rabbit ears for Easter. Bunnies like Easter. See something floating over here. And at this rate, we might have to go past it. But gee, this is like the forgotten continent in Final Fantasy IX, where it was forgotten because all the walls were too high for boats to get to. Which, even as a kid, I was just like, why is that the forgotten continent? Everyone knows where it is and can see it, they just can't get to it because they don't have, like, long enough ladders to go down into the ocean and up the cliff. I might be able to climb something like that, but then I also have to climb back down. Up, there's a little foxy up there. Looks like they have a little fox kit. Checking the odd map, see if there's any more land. Luckily I still have 3 berries on me. Now, I don't need to have my torch out anymore, that's good. So the mechanic in the game is when you have an item that can be in your offhand, I modded it slightly so that if you it normally works that when you've got something in your offhand, it increases the rate at which you get hungrier faster. I did a mod that only does that when you also have something in your primary hand. So as long as you've only got one thing in your hands, you should be good. And I've decided this is going to have to be good enough for a place that... No, this is terrible. It's absolutely terrible. I am not doing that. You know what? This place looks much more inviting. And it's big. Oh, and it's flat just over there. I love flat. It's not flat. I just didn't see the mountains. Oh, but it looks like this island might be slightly bigger than the other... I want to say my island, but like I got to the island and there was already a guy living there. Oh, it looks like this island's covered in high fertility soil. Okay, you're a wolf, so there are wolves on this island. Boat. And now a nice, lush, green environment for us to explore. So the main thing I really am looking for is food and rocks like similar to this, but a little bit different. These little rocks can indicate the sort of minerals that are under the ground, but only the lighter materials like quartz, lead, iron, flint. I'm looking for the copper ones, but only the surface level ones, because I don't have the means to mine out anything else. Looks like this island is primarily made of sandstone. And a duck. He did not expect to see me. That's a wolf. So a wolf will probably tear me apart relatively easily right now. And oh, ruins and red clay. We'll mark the clay on my map because clay is a valuable multi-stage resource. I will color it red and I have a block, and now I'll be like, okay, there's red clay there. Not much going on with the ruins, but there is this, and I have not seen this before, but it is pretty. That is pretty, and that is a thing we've gotten to see. Forgotten monument to a forgotten peoples. Oh yeah, yeah, please. If you think you know what I'm going to talk about, just start commenting on it before I say anything. It's going to save time. That's a baby wolf, and that's probably Mama Wolf over there. This is a type of soil called peat. It is very flammable. It is one of the soil types that isn't for necessarily for farming. Horsetails and I think cattails can be combined together to make healing gear, and because I'm seeing all these wolves, I may want to consider having some. But now is not really the time to be collecting horsetails because I need a source of food. Or I will get hungry, and if I get hungry, I will get grumpy. I have found some mushrooms. It's a good little adventure, and I check my mushrooms. This one would hurt me each time I ate it. And so, I am not going to eat it. But these mushrooms, the lobster mushroom, they only fill my tum tum. And finding the second mushroom is the reason why it's a little harder to rely on mushrooms as a food source is they kind of like to grow however they want to grow. There's no real indicator when they're going to sprout out, but yeah, you can find multiple safe to eat ones, but when they're different species, they all use up different inventory slots. So your inventory gets very full very fast. I'm a hungry little guy, so I will just pick them up and then free up the inventory slot right away. Hello, Landon, are you edible? No, you are not. Yep, see? Some tree mushrooms. They're good. that was the family of baby raccoons. And copper. That is excellent. We will mark it down on our map. So that the reason I mark it down on my map is because I found what a lot of people will just call surface copper, like surface copper, is there's now a fair chance that there is going to be copper underground underneath where I just found it. So when I've got the ability to break solid rock, I should come back and I should start collecting more copper. I feel like I should have grabbed my cooking pot and some cooking bowls. For the limit. Tell me about these, please. Sorry, I'm sorry. You're right, I shouldn't have been walking there. Stupid pig. Hold out on my mushrooms, because if by some miracle I found enough copper, I would rush home. There is a second method of finding copper, which is a little less ideal, but feasible, where I could pan for copper. Hello, Deathcaps. Are you? No, you're super deadly. I'm gonna pick this up because driftwood can be processed in. I don't have the means to process it, but it can be processed into firewood. Okay, there's something shooting at me. Yeah, I'm gonna quickly make myself axe. Just so I can. Oh, it's only one piece. Because I will eventually need 4 pieces of firewood if I wanted to start a fire on this island. A fire to cook with, not just to burn everything. Burning everything would be irresponsible. Driftwood, you don't want to do anything? Well, then you can go back to the ground. That slight buzzing, that is the sound of bees. Found them. I might move to this island, I'm not sure yet. Don't have the biggest reason to, but in case I ever do come back to this island, I would probably enjoy having a easy source of wild bees. I just need to find my bee picture. There it is. This is another. Oh. There is a. It can be hard to find resource called resin. It only grows on trees that apparently the players don't plant, and it is needed a lot for mechanical power. So it's another one of those things that when you find it, you mark it down. Well, there's my bag and starting on my mushrooms. Okay, so these are quartz, so there's probably some quartz underground, but I don't even have the tools to mine that. The only shiny rock I'm looking for is copper. But yeah, once we crack the Copper Age, you still need to work for them, but resources become a little more abundant because we'll be able to reach into the depths of the earth and pry them out at our leisure. This is much how the early game goes, is you're trying to just be sustained enough on food that you can spend time searching for copper. Ah, my knees. It'll be lovely building a cute little homestead with all of you. See, here is copper. This is copper, but it's in rock. And as you can see by my little punching, I can't break the rock. The resistance remained. But it's possible, now that we know copper's there, that... And I'm not going to mark it because I can't do anything with it. There might be some copper on the top of this hill that I have foolishly climbed. Also, when you say build a homestead with me, that might also entail of you building the homestead while I run off looking for copper. And then coming back with copper, resin, maybe meat, hopefully pockets full of berries. Wait, yes, there is. Ah, we are up to 6 out of 40. So, I've worked out, I worked out, a lot of people work it out quickly, that to start the Copper Age properly, you will need at least a pickaxe, ow, and, or yes, and a hammer. You need the hammer to break, so when you break these resources, not necessarily flint, but like the copper one I saw, they come out as chunks, which is, copper in big ass chunks with all the earth around them. You break it with the hammer, and then it makes these little rocks, the little nuggets, and then you smelt the nuggets into what you need. So that is why you need. Ooh, carrots. That is. Oh, only seeds. That is why you need 40, because it takes 20 nuggets to make a pickaxe and 20 nuggets to make a hammerhead. Hello. Wonder if the green crack ruselia can be eaten. It can be eaten. And it's a pretty color. I always kind of liked how with how things evolved. Plants will grow certain sections of them nice and bright, like the flowers or the fruits. Nice bright colors because they want you to come and they want you to eat them, and they're like, "Come and get me." But then animals are just like, you know what? What if I did that, but it's a warning? Ooh, berries. Nom, 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 nom. It's just like bright is good when it's plant, but bright is death if not plant. I know that's dumbing it down and everything, but still, it's kind of cute. This tree is slightly different to other trees. Ah, wait, wait. Nope, nope. Check the tags. We've been over this. The tags prove it. This tree is different to other trees. It has a tiny little stump. Its foliage is brighter because it's known as a fruit tree. This one is a pear tree. So if I go at this fruit tree's branches, I might find a clipping. I can plant that at home and have my own pear tree, but this one did not want to share. It shared one clipping. It would be great if it was just like, oh, cool, like, oh, hello, little duckling. can't even loot that duckling. So it'd be great if you could just find a fruit tree, take your clippings, go back home and be like, okay, I got all the clippings that I need. That, that's some endgame stuff that you want, but in Vintage Story, because it's a clipping, it's only got a they've decided that it only has a 40% chance of survival, which means that when I plant it back into the ground, it will try to re-establish itself, get a root system and everything, but there's a 40% chance or 60% chance that it will die. And then I'll have to go and find another clipping. But if you go to a fruit tree that already exists and you attach it, or you graft it that way, then you... I almost walked right down into this. Then it goes up to a 60% chance of survival, so a 40% chance of death. And then you also just have a tree that's like making two types of pears, or pear and an apple. Oh, and for nutritional reasons, mushrooms count as vegetables in this game. Air monsters, but I know sea monsters. And now I have found actually quite a nice chunk of berries. Inventory is starting to fill up, so back to my raft. I'll change that to pinned. I'm going to start heading back there to go back home, offload a bunch of my stuff, and I might do a little bit of the other method used to potentially get copper, while still checking the ground and picking up the mushrooms as I find them. Because there's not much point exploring around with a full inventory. I hope there aren't sea monsters in Vintage Story. I don't know how I would emotionally process that. After the screaming, of course. I like the red leaves. I don't really get red leaves in my single player game. How can we prove to you otherwise that there aren't sea monsters then? So there were more bees, I can hear them. They're the yellow dots on my minimap. But I have one bee spot already located, that's all you really need. Oh, resin only grows on two types of trees, one of them is pine. So if you find a resin tree, like a pine tree that grows resin, that tree is also now something you don't cut down. Because if you cut it down, you lost the source of resin. And that's bad. Oh dip. No, 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 go away. I can see a red dot chasing me. Shit, it's a bat. one of those bears that don't swim. So yeah, right now the repercussions of death is I would drop all my stuff and I would return to the original spawn point of where I spawned. There are temporal gears. They're similar to the money gears. You can use those and those will let you spawn at a location you put on the ground X amount of times. I also got a mod that makes the beds that you sleep in become your spawn point. Because the first time I played with a friend, the default spawn point was on the top of a mountain, like a very untraversable mountain. So to even get back to base, which was built relatively close because it had to be out of necessities, um, you'd be like half dead from the amount of times you had to fall and jump off the cliff. And that wasn't fun. It wasn't very fun. So bed mod. But I haven't built a bed yet. I've just been mooching off of another man's bed. Still trying to keep half an eye out for the copper nodes as I try to run home. Avoiding the red circles on my mini-map because I am not in a position to be ready to fight. I will pull out my torch because I can see it's starting to get a bit dark. And I will do my best to just go away while I get necessities. Bloody ore. Okay, and for at least a short bit, we'll go back home, check on the garden, maybe cook a meal. Right, I have to go past another island to get to my island. Oh, if I look down, I'm just warming up my little face. I like it too, Cass. So you'll swing by home. I might expand the farm a touch. I got some new seeds. May as well have an excess of food when I get around to harvesting. Why am I carrying? I just low fertility soil. Go back to the earth whence you came. Hey, cuz. How are ya? How have you been? I wonder if I have the shout out command. Let's see if that's set up in StreamerBot. It is not set up in my StreamerBot. So, Kaz plays video games. Sometimes she plays them on her own Twitch channel. She often plays them for about 76 hours at a time, and then she takes a small break for herself. Hey, the shout out worked. I don't know what I did wrong. Um, the other day she was playing games with Izu. Izu's great. Banana is special, and Cass. Cass is terrific. She's my girlfriend. Excuse me. Okay, I'm sorry. Banana isn't special. Is that better? Banana is super common. Super. She's she's a loaf of bread without any yeast. Is that better? Sorry, it's just like banana is Cass's property. So I'd like to think Cuz knows. Oh, okay. Now Cuz doesn't really play for like 72 hours straight, but she does put in a lot of full days of work plus overtime. She gives it her all, and that's really cool. Okay, temporal stability is down to 7. Oh, it's going back up. Oh yeah, little fox guy. See, there's me without my hat on. I've been eating a lot of fruit, a little bit of vegetable, and a little bit of grain. I've not eaten any protein or dairy. I don't think I'll be touching on dairy for a very long time. I'm kind of excited about the prospect of getting to build bigger and better boats. They'll go faster. They'll I could potentially make a houseboat, I think, depending on how cramped the lifestyle I want. But to do that, I need to get to the Copper Age. But don't you love your balked character? Don't you remember all the good times you had? Like the time you told some adventurers they weren't good enough? Your dinosaur? Wouldn't you miss your dinosaur? Your dinosaur would miss you. And all your stuff. What about your sword, Fractal? You wouldn't have your sword anymore. Who would you be without your sword? I'm sorry, I'll be honest. I mostly watched you on low volume while doing other stuff and just sort of lurked to hang out with you. And I always feel a little guilty that I did that. Later for that stuff. First task for the day is to run over to my trader friend because he's probably worried sick about me. Probably like, I haven't seen Senzu in a hot minute. So I think I want to get into the habit of with my lurking, or at least friends like you and Kaz and Kay and Iba, is I want to at least pop in and say hello before I just lurk. Got anything to trade? Anything I want? But you got a comfy bed. And normally I'll just crawl into a bed and then once I see that the sun is coming up, then I'll wake back up. And aha! Daylight at 4:50 in the morning. Oh, sweet food! I had no idea. I forgot I had that. Okay, let's clean some things up. Oh, I've already got 7 copper pieces. Now, so I'm going to try some of the other methods of getting copper. I'm going to try some panning for gold. I'm going to bring you with me because I'm about to start a fire. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the cooking mechanic. You can just get like a fish, hold it over the fire and roast it, or you can in a cooking pot. You can mix things together. 2 of the ingredients need to be basically the same, so 2 lobster mushrooms. Then you're allowed to add other stuff, and it will increase. It increases how much that one meal will do, but sometimes you can't do vegetable to fruit, but you can mix in other methods. So I'm going to create a serving of hefty lobster mushroom green cracked Russell stew with boiled almond mushrooms. I don't have much use for these planks, so I'm going to let those get cooked up first and treat my firewood as if it's a little more precious. I'll even pile it up on the outside, and I'll eat my last mushroom because I'm not going to cook with that one. So while that cooks, I'm going to look for some sand. Hello. Oh yeah, no, this is... Hello. Oh look, you're terrified of me. So yeah, luckily there is a nearby sandy beach, which I'm right here on. So I'm going to make myself a shovel, collect some sand. Got myself a shovel. And now I'll just start with 4 pieces. And then check how my food is going. About half done. I will do a single panning just to show it off for all of you lovelies. So to pan for gold, well, pan for anything, you need to be in water, like I am, waist deep. You then go up to sand blocks or gravel blocks and certain types of dirt blocks, but you right click on it and then you right click again. You have a chance of getting one of several items. The most common item is nothing. You can get arrowheads, chunks of copper. In this case I got a quartz chunk. Use up a section of the sand each time. It can take about an hour of panning to get the required copper. But the advantages are you're like not having to hardcore adventure, risking your life. Yeah, I'm gonna just pan a little bit to see if I can find any copper that way. Just for a little bit of a change of pace, really. First, let's check out our hearty meat. Our mushroom stew is ready. We will save the last log. Hello, raccoon. So yeah, the reason I don't, like me personally, I don't use the very edge sand is because once they're destroyed, water starts running into that new crevice and it consistently pulls you. And that's just annoying to work with. So you just make a little pile of sand that's not connected to the water and you pan away. Found a rock. Hello, knife flare. So yes, probably getting to just see this, the reeling panning for copper gameplay is probably make more accurate why I'm running off on wacky unadvised adventures instead. Oh, a second rock. I am now one bird with 2 stones. Up that time I found some flint, because my little flint on the number 7 of the hotcar, that it shook a bit. Found a third rock. A piece of quartz. Oh shit, I've been finding copper this whole time. I have 5 stacks of copper in my inventory. Doesn't break 20, unfortunately. But that does remind me that before I start my next adventure, I am going to make a thing called a crucible. A crucible, in short, is a jar that you put little metal chunks in and you superheat it. In this game, you heat it to the melting point. And then you can pour it into molds. And molds are good. Right. And so yes, before we, I will make at least, oh, I'll at least start it. I will start this pickaxe mold as well while I'm home and I have clay on me. So yeah, the base, there are more, but you don't necessarily need them unless reasons. People have their own reasons, but I'm out of clay. We are going to fire this up, and it's going to work while I go on adventures. So I'll need 10 dry grass. I have dry grass. I have dry grass. So yeah, if I wanted to, I could fit other items into here, but I don't have the clay for the other stuff. And this is why we saved the firewood. Should put the ore down, but I'm not going to. What's hole? Just gonna throw the rocks away because I'm not gonna need those for a while. Up on the farm. It's going good. Oh yeah, my staircase to the roof. That was weird. This time I am going to leave with all my food. I'm going to plant my fruit tree. I'm gonna close that door because that raccoon's been... Wait, no, I need to go inside. I'm going to go inside my house. Seeds and my healing herbs away. Start the adventure eating some berries. There's still lots of that island to explore, so I'll go back to that island. So yeah, on this little raft, instead of having the little treasure chest here, or reed chest, it could be a second friend. And the second friend could also have an ore. Sorry, just having a little drink. To help fill the silence, I'm going to just randomly talk about myself. I had my first over lesson and that was terrific. I spent the days at work, like on work, I still got home practice, but I just practiced the exercise I was taught. But yesterday on my first day off, I was trying some of the cello. My God, you're the one person that shouldn't get that wrong, young lady. I was trying. I've got a music piece. It is called Tetris. It is one of the simpler variations of it, but it's also good for solos because of it the slightly simplified. But it's the same. It's like one of the first pieces my partner Alison Bob Allison Fee Fi Fo Allison Hut Feather the Third, Princess of the Snuggle Woggle Kingdom. It was one of the first pieces she learned as well, and so it gets to be one of the first pieces I learn. And I'm pretty sure she will only need like 20 minutes to practice it and then be playing it good, and we might be able to duet together. But yeah, I was teaching it, and oh my gosh, string fingering is so much different to sax fingering. And it might have just been because, you know, I've got multiple years under my belt and I forgot how hard it was to finger a sax, but it feels so much harder in remembrance. But I was figuring it out. I had my tuner plugged in to make sure that I was in the correct position. And I can very poorly play da 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 da, which is the start of Tetris. Snuggle Woggle Kingdom, or Cutie Cuddle Kingdom. She's a princess of a lot of kingdoms. Her kingdom changes its name a lot. They're very indecisive. Sometimes it's the Candy Crush Kingdom. Hello. I have a little friend. Just come right up on my left, drop their little head on my lap, and they just want a little attention. Oh, do you need something? Too early for your lunch. Poor little baby, huh? You're not getting enough scritchies? You need some more scritchies and some more scratchies? So we gave him a very late dinner last night, and it turned out that he did not eat the majority of it. Well, probably because I was also going to bed at the same time, and he's more about bed life. So he might be a little hungry, but it's self-inflicted hungry. Strange me. Pointlessly check on my map. Try to park my raft in the same spot. Yeah, like yeah, this island, it gives me the Forgotten Continent vibes from Final Fantasy IX. It's just a sheer cliff, so it doesn't even matter if you just paddle up in the little boat it gives you. There's no way to get in until you get the flying ship. So yeah, I'm carefully working on my cello fingering, having to go from the G string to the D string for the song. I was told to only practice for like 10 minutes at a time when you start off because hand strain, I guess. Like, yeah, my hand was getting really tired at the end. But I felt like Ruth kind of appreciated getting to have a new student that has a musical history because she would start explaining a basic concept such as only do short practices at the beginning because you need to work up the muscles and the feel and everything for it. And I was just like, well, yeah, I need to work the muscle. My hands aren't used to working this way. They need to get stronger before I do more, or I could strain and make it painful, end up causing bad habits and such. And she's just like, yeah, you get it. You remember when I told her, and probably all the other times you got told when you were learning as a child. I was just like, yeah. And D string, don't forget the D string. It starts off on the D string with third finger. No, first finger or third? First finger on the D string, then you go third finger on G string, fourth finger on G string. I'm not cute. It's confirmed. It's in the tag. Tags don't lie. I'm also planning on making myself a brand new workbench. I'm just waiting to get around to the point where I get myself some wheels. I think they're called casters. I always forget the name until I see it written down again, and then I immediately recognize it. But basically like trolley wheels, but ones for outside. But I'm all pedantic, and I'm like, I need ones that are kind of thick in rubber, but also have locks because I'm planning on wheeling it over 30-year-old floor bricks, which are bumpy, rough, and uneven, and I don't want to wear through the wheels too quickly. And I get people when I'm telling them, and they're like, "Well, why don't you just build the table now and put the wheels on later?" And I'm like, "Because I want the table to be a certain height, and I'd have to take the legs off and cut them shorter when I add the wheels on. So I need the wheels to know the how long the legs need to be because I want the table to be as high as my other tables." But it's gonna be nice once I got there. Gonna gonna go for the lathe. Gonna do some more of my lathing, and I won't need to. Like the table I'm using right now is a bit low, so a lot of slightly bending over, and it makes your back sore. I chose not to finish the sentence even though I could hear how it was going to come out. Oh, another bear. You see, this is why I'm not thinking about like living on this island. Yeah, it's nice and big and it's got vast resources that I can barely access. It's also got wolves and bears, like everywhere. I have no idea if anyone heard that, but I had a friend just randomly share me an image. I'm not going to look at the image because the nature of the friend means that I might get banned, but I'll look at it eventually. I like how the ground, like it's just a thing that's in video games these days, but how the ground can sound different depending on what you're walking on. Now I'm on crunchy gravel. Up, another friend has uploaded an image. Also someone that I probably shouldn't immediately check just in case. I have a lot of friends like that. They're just like, look at this person slash and or me, really pretty and slightly inappropriate, but I want you to see it. And I really do appreciate getting to be shown. It's nice. Like yeah, when I tried to pick up my drawing again, I I don't know, it's like I'm super vain. I can't maintain hobbies if I'm not feeling encouraged by it. So, you know, I would pick up drawing, do it for a bit. I had one friend I would show them and I'd be like, hey, please have a look at this. I drew it. I know that, like, we've been friends multiple years and you've studied for it and everything. So, for some reason, your opinion matters a ton to me, but shouldn't. And it'd be like a 3, 4 hour, at best, 3, 4 hour wait before they respond. Sometimes it'll be several days. There is a hole in this tree. Neat. I found a little squirrel's secret stash. Gonna plant this. Okay, see, look, here is brown coal. Brown coal is a burning material. It burns hotter than firewood, of course. I should mark it, but I'm not going to, because I'm too lazy to turn around. I just want to find my copper. These rocks are similar to these rocks, but this one will break and give you like 6 or 7, where this will give you 1 to 2. That's the biggest difference to these type of rocks. Also, I don't think these can come up like as copper and stuff. Only these small ones can. I was really hoping that there's going to be a bunch of copper in this desert. I'm not going in the caves because 1, they can be hard to get out of. 2, there are more hostile creatures, and 3, it turns you insane. And none of those sound good when you can't get anything out of them because you don't have a pickaxe or a sword. I do have my pointy rock stick. Is everything okay, Cass? Oh, okay. Maybe a little bit of cave time as a treat. But you might get impaled on my spear. Yeah. Oh, copper! So I found 2 sources of copper on this island, so even once oh, it was only 4 chunks, unfortunately, but... Third Pete? No. So the more surface copper you can find in an area usually means the denser the vein will be down, but... Like, I'm still starting out. I'm gonna take what I can get. I was like, when I was trying to learn how to prospect properly on the stream watching YouTube videos, they're always just like, this is how you find the super rich vein. You just keep doing this, and I'm like, okay, that's cool and everything. It's yes, you want to find the largest resource. Oh, actually, I need some of this. I need some clay because I need to build a crucible. This is red clay, different to blue clay, so I might have to start my molds again. I'm gonna just dig this up to a stack of 20. Actually, I'll do 30 so I can hopefully do 2 molds. I hope that raccoon didn't get into my house. Not that I had anything a raccoon would want in my house. But the raccoon doesn't know that. Okay, that's enough clay for the time. Yes, where'd you go? Oh, I guess she despawned. I didn't get to the cave in time. Ooh. So, got a mod called Better Ruins, which makes things like this appear sometimes. A little village. Just a little abandoned, ruined village. This village is ruined. Very nice. I'm gonna eat my berries now. Actually, I don't want to move here. Wall the place off. And just have a bunch of houses that I live in. Okay, so finding this is big for me. I used a mod because my British friend, he cared so much that it wasn't called a wall torch and it was its proper name of a sconce. So torches you can place on the wall, but as you can see at the top up here, when that's gone, it can only burn for 48 hours and then it will go out and it'll be useless. But if you get a sconce, it stays good forever. So for me and my little birdie brain, it's a big deal finding that. Oh wow, look at all this wood. Metal tank. Oops. These work? They work! Yeah, Isaac, could you please set up a poll for me? Should I move into these ruins? I want to see if chat would like the idea of me moving into these ruins and fixing them up. I have gloves. Oh, neat. Yep, I have to hold on to this now. I took it out of the chest. Or should I stay? Oh, and the other option in the thing would be, or should I stay where I am? Books. Yeah, that's what happens. It's a burnout torch, so you can't use it again. But some of these are just extinguished. Ah, okay. Right. Sorry, I was kind of in the mindset that my stream is just identical to Ali. Um, I'll just ask chat. Hey, chat, do you think I should move into this place and treat it like Queer Eye for the Straight Guy and redevelop it? Or should I stay where I am on the little other island? Unfortunately, a lot of the stuff, like when you can see at the top, it says May Shadow Broken. So a lot of this stuff is just going to be shattered and wasted away. And I wouldn't mind. I could, change up the ladders to be nicer ladders. Clear out the gravel. But okay, I can see a lot of people are saying ruins. Hey, Ira. I'm sorry, I'm only just noticing you're here now. It's in case afterwards. This is the house you know about. Goes down the secret staircase. This is the house you don't know about. Oh, another sconce. Oh, look, it's already got a fireplace. And I'm sorry. No, you can't do that. Okay, obsidian's just a rock type. That makes sense. But an obsidian, no. Are these scrolls good? So when I move in, I will try to repurpose the rooms to be the same, but just with newer stuff. Especially if one of these rooms is a forge. Alright, cool dibs. Okay, let's... need a house icon. Home 2. But I still need to remember that I desperately need that copper, so we will come back to it and I'll start moving in. The next time I visit my old home, I'll tear up a bunch of the stuff. Hopefully the crops will give me somewhat of a yield. And we'll start moving into a town, and I'll just be that weird, crazy hermit guy that lives in a town of one. Could like go around, set up masks at the face of each room, so I can just change them around and have conversations with myself. But that's what I'll do off stream when I feel like role playing with myself. And if that sounded naughty to you, you're the problem. Right now, I do need just. There was a possibility at those ruins that are now home that oh shit! I almost fell down there. I could have found something like a lot better than just the obsidian knife. There could have been like other tools that I don't have access to. Even the potential of a even the potential of oh gosh damn it! I want to pick the berries. Even the potential of like finding a pickaxe, and that would have been swell. So on the map that I was already running back to a place I'd already marked on the map, so I'm like, I don't need to re-explore an old area. Oh, by the way, Cass and Isa, thank you very much for trying to do the poll. Thank you very much, Isa, for hearing me and trying right away. And Cass, thank you very much for, seeing Isa not able to do so and trying yourself. I really appreciate that. It's lovely just having partners that are just like keeping an ear out for me. I am a lucky little guy. I am sweet. I'm not cute. I'm sweet. Quartz. So I don't mark quartz on my map because, like, generally you'll just find it. Like you'll be walking along and then a piece of quartz just shows up in front of you and it's like, I'm here. So quartz is one of the few mineable resources I feel like you don't really need to mark on your map unless you found like a giant ass vein because then it's just convenient to go back to when you do need a ton of quartz. But also, sometimes I'm just like, I don't feel like it. Like, I'll be running around and I might, oh, stop doing that. I'll find like a piece of lead on the ground and I'll be like, there's just one piece of lead. It's going to be a very tiny vein. And I'm like, but I'm in the Iron Age. A single piece of lead doesn't interest me. Ha 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 ha. Get all snooty like that. Oh, food. Oh, yep. Don't know if anyone else saw it, but I just saw the leg of one of those things that shoots spears out at you. Oh, a trader. A rock. No, sir. Nope. What's your name? Kind of you to ask, traveler. I'm Jose. You sell Jose. You're a furniture trader that sells fire clay. Beds. Actually, some of this stuff is kind of reasonable to me. Okay, where's my trader? Furniture. Oh, there's a second trader. It's a two-person trading. Hello. Oh, sorry. Yeah. What's your name? You're Edel. What do you sell, Edel? You're a treasure hunter, huh? Okay. You sell a dog. Furniture and treasure. Wait, no, you buy... Why would you buy a wolf pup? So... That is either snow or lime, and I'm going to vote for snow. I am leaving the mushrooms because things spoil and... Like, I've got enough berries on me for now. 6 situation's a bit low. Also, I think you are poisonous, I think. Oh, you found me, did you? No, 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 I'm sorry. I didn't mean to walk near you. Ow! Ah, most of my life force. I saw resin. Wonder if that's the same bear. Okay, it looks like he gave up. So yeah, after I've made my workbench table, I start off on a random tangent from earlier. I'm hopefully going to be a little more comfortable when I do things like lathing, because the table will be more my height. It'll also be in line with other work surfaces like my table saw, so that that'll just be nice. But hopefully I'll be more comfortable because me and Ali were thinking of our project where we're going to make a big ass chessboard table. And also then just some big ass chessboard pieces that you can actually play chess on the table when you want to. Or just use it as a table when you just need a table. It'll have two functions. And you're getting to lay out some of the pieces for the chessboard. Just sounds exciting. I can start off easy, start off with the pawns, work up to the rooks, get the basic shape of the rook done, use the jigsaw or one of the other little fine point saws to add in some of the details. Work my way up to the queen. The queen is intimidating. The knight, I have no idea. People show me tutorials and they're like, you can do this. And I'm just like, I can barely make a cup. Like, have you seen the box that I made? It's a nice box, but it's not a good box. It's solid made, not well made. Oh yeah, long while ago, I made a box because we needed a place for our potatoes. And it does its job good. But also, it was like one of the first things that I made when I started getting into woodworking. I get into a lot of stuff. I just got like habits and I sort of cycle them. And that's a bear, but I think the bear got distracted by the raccoon. Can't wait. Can't wait to have a bunch of armor and like a good weapon and just be like, I challenge you, bear. You may still win, but is not guaranteed now. I remember lobsters. They're good. They're good eating. So yeah, the berries have different expiry dates. That's why they weren't stacking on top of each other. Like the had two stacks of blueberries, and then when you pull up them on top of each other, they sort of equal out their expiry date. It goes up a little bit for the ones that are close to expiring, and down a little bit for the fresher ones. Yeah, slick gravel, that's neat. Yeah, I've got a lot of berries on me. I've got a lot of inventory. I think I am going to start wandering back to me raft. I got a belly full of blueberries, and I'm gonna start sprinting home. You know what? I'm going to talk about my drawings now. I have a very inconsistent art style because I don't have an art style. I'll pull up like 30 reference pictures of a hand in a particular pose, or I'll go through a a metric shit ton, and I'll end up with like 3 or 4 of the hand that I want to, and I just keep eyeing each of the pictures, picking the ideal line that I like and trying to copy it. Sometimes I'll get down to the point where I've just got like one reference picture because I'm like, that is the face I want. And that is basically my art style. Is I get a bunch of reference pictures and I try to use them to help keep my mind focused on what I'm trying to draw, because I can imagine nice big fanciful beautiful things and I'll analyze them in my head. I'll be like, okay, so to get to this complex picture in my head, I can reverse construct it down to like more basics. But getting it out of my head, even if I turn it into like a paint by numbers, is just really hard for me if I don't have a second visual medium to help focus. And that's just my drawing style, and because that's my drawing style generally changes each time I draw. Like I drew a maid picture one of my 3 partners all in maid dresses, and there was a lot of 2 kinds. Oh, resin.
Yeah.
Get up. Didn't pick the resin up, but I should still mark it. Yeah, I use the true guy, and he has so many versions of his characters just in maid dresses, so I was just using his stuff, and then I'd also just started using some of his non-maid dress things for particular things such as facial features. Is there anything coming out? I do not need the sand. Away. I want the resin. The tree is the wrong color, that's going to annoy me. And yeah, that's just sort of like how I draw. I explained it once to my friend that went through college and stuff to do artwork, and he was very encouraging. He's just like, he was telling me that is how a bunch of the major artists way back in the day would do. They would mention how they'd just go to a gallery of the prior great super artist of the time and just try to freehand sketch draw the other person's work to teach themselves, and that was encouraging for me. I was like, oh good, I was always afraid that, you know, I'd copy like a face too much, and then somebody would be like, you just stole that face. And I'm like, and I get in my own head and I'm like, yeah, I did kind of steal that face, but like, I can't just draw an original face that I'll ever be happy with if I don't have have a buffer medium to just help keep me focused, because I guess that's just how my brain works. A lot of my creative endeavors work out a lot better if I just have a visual representation that I can look at, even though I feel like I can picture the item in my head just fine. And I'm rambling now. I'm trying to stand up for myself and I'm rambling. I'm sorry, bug? Oh, am I bugging you? Oh, that's deprecating. I'm sure I'm not bugging you. You'd mute me if I was doing that. You'd practice some self-care. Okay, so wow, I covered a lot of ground this time. Oh, right. I don't want to get rid of anything. But you know what? Screw you, Axe. I can make 100 granite axes. They're just granites. Yeah, the brain does, and in many methods. I know there are the most common story of the one is where somebody's like, as a child, I did not do good in art class because the teacher would be like, think of a bear, now put it on paper, and they'd be like, I don't do like their imagination and their thought process doesn't doesn't yield a visual representation for them. So when they're told to picture something, they can't. And I'm like, I guess I'm a variation of that where I can picture a thing, but I just can't translate it. But like, as long as people aren't going to be upset that, you know, my art style isn't consistent and will sometimes seem very similar to other ones, especially if I use. This is why I try not to use popular artists, honestly, is because I become really self-conscious of being like called out as a fraud or something. Oh my gosh, copper! Oh, so much copper. Like, yeah, I try to avoid their too overly popular people because I get really paranoid about being called out, and I know I'm a little overly sensitive, especially when I'm like it's a piece that I'm currently working on or thinking about being called out on because I am unfortunately very easy to. Oh, much copper, yay! I am very easy to accidentally also discourage because I'm also very easy to encourage. Like I'm going to tell the story of when I randomly decided with it to draw cars. I originally met her in her Sailor Moon phase where she had the Sailor Moon get up and stuff, and that's when I knew as there's someone worth being a friend to. That's what cemented it. And recently, I wanted to draw another friend, and I I did. I picked cars, and I chose Sailor Moon because one, there are so many references of Sailor Moon. That part made it so easy, and two, it's how I met cousin. I like it and things. So I drew like I remember this. I drew the upper torso and some of the arms in the classic "I will slay you" pose, and I was just like, I didn't want to finish it at the time because for all I know, Cuz could be like me, and he's just really self-conscious about having pictures done for us. So I was just like, hey Cuz, I started drawing this. Is it okay if I finish it? It's yeah, basically it's you as Sailor Moon, and she reacted very positively to it, and I got to finish it, and she was very happy with it, which made me very happy. But yeah, that one was like really easy to do because there's so much Sailor Moon references, and Kaz gave me a little picture to reference for her. She was just like, "Hey, use this picture for my basic colors and stuff," and I was like, "Yeah, sure thing." And this happened to Kay as well when I've like gone, "Hey, I drew a picture of you," and I shot to them, and they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna slap it straight onto stream and show everyone," and they slap it on. The picture's bigger than they expect. I draw on a 600p A4 canvas that's about 7,000 by 4,000 pixels, which it is basically A4 4K. I basically draw an A4 4K because it's really easy to do straight lines in that resolution. My laptop hates it. And so they'll be like, "Yeah, I'm going to slap it on my stream," which I get such a huge giddy thrill when they're like, "Oh my gosh, I'm going to show everyone." And it's just this huge monolith of an item on their screen, and they're like, "Oh, that is... why is that not fitting? This usually works." And I have to be like, "I'm sorry, I draw in a stupidly big resolution, and I don't export the image as a smaller version. I just give it to you as it is." And then Kaz is just like, "That's a feature." Yeah, I don't know, I randomly get inspired to draw my friends. I drew Banana in a flying machine from one of the Great Fly People, and that one was fun because I got a bunch of references of the actual flying machine rather than just drawing a cartoonified version, and so it's like, it's not exact, but it's surprisingly accurate. And I was very proud of that. I remember when I was doing her shoes, I'd like zoomed in and I'd gotten a bunch of like Reeboks and other sneakers and stuff, and I spent a huge amount of time drawing a single shoe with all these details and everything, and then I'm like, okay, the shoe's done, and then I zoom out and I'm like, oh, that's barely 1% of the total image space. But if someone gets their hands on the original picture, they can zoom in to that shoe and get a really clear picture of a shoe. Oh wow, I haven't had any dropped frames. That's nice. I hope I don't have what happened last time where it just stopped recording for a bit. I often get really passionate about talking about the current hobby that I'm exercising. And yeah, I was drawing a small animation GIF of Ali the other day. Well, I started it. And I need like a proper animation program because the animation program I use, Krita, it's not really meant to be used for animations. They'll even admit it that they've got a very basic animation engine because it's an art tablet program. But yeah, she asked for emotes the other day, so I'm drawing her an animated emote. I think she'll like it, and I'm thinking of just drawing her a bunch of emotes because she asked for them. Just practicing, see if I can get some of the staple emotes like dancing or scribbling on a page. But when she's got the one where you're like writing on a page, she's going to be using a quill, and the quill is going to be the color of my tail feathers. That is going to be just a little detail that I'm telling all of you now because no one's ever going to notice it. People might notice, oh, she's writing with a feather, and that's about it. But I get ideas for those little things, and then that makes the little project even more exciting. I've given a lot of people the basic brick emote, where it's just a picture of someone throwing a brick. I've done it for like Isa and for Cass, and I think I did it for Banana, Froggo the Frog, and mostly because I've just got a template of all the animations done. All I need to do is just get the picture the person wants, and I just slap it on, and then I need to just animate like 6 frames and I'm done. But yeah, like, animating's hard. And yet I keep doing it. And I'm running out of things to talk about. Baking. Baking is another hobby. I do enjoy cooking, but I have this weird quirk where I like things that I cook to come out as a single item. Like, I will get more satisfaction out of making a stir fry, which, ends up as one item in the pot, and I'll get a little more satisfaction out of that than like making a roast. And when I do make a roast, I generally only focus on the meat part as stuff I want to talk about, because like I like having a single item as the product of my efforts. So that's made me get like more into baking, because I get to make a batch of cookies. I get to make a cake. I get to make pretzels. And they're all come up as a single item. Like, it might be like 12 of the same item, but I still count that as a single item. But yeah, it's like I will make a whole set of like bacon, eggs, pancakes, and everything, and it's still rewarding. But for some reason, that's just, even though it's probably just as complicated as making a stir fry or a cake, it's a little more exhausting, because while I'm doing that, I'm like consistently having to do this mental check of each individual process that I'm cooking. Because to me, when I'm doing that, I'm making 5 things that end up on the plate together, rather than just one thing that's done in stages. Even though sometimes on that one thing has to have different types of cooking in 3 different pots, it's less taxing on me mentally. Okay, we are back at Old Home. Have some of this. Back, and we have to start getting this place ready to leave, so I can go to the ruins. Wait a second. I have just noticed that I have 30. No, I should pan. But there's one thing I should do before I pan, because list of order broke. Where'd half my copper? I thought I went up to 34 red clay. Did I put some of it away? Did I drop some of it? Well, anyway. Pick up my hunter mask and put on this new whitewood mask. Urgh. May as well try to make this place a little more comfortable while I'm here. I'm going to just use the auto mode now, so I can be much more chat focused for this immediate moment. Has anyone got like a nice little fun story they'd like to see me react to? Would anyone like a shout out? Oh, I bet Colorless Queen would like a shout out. She loves being shouted out. She streams again, Zomboid with her friends. Okay, so there are other methods to do. I'm using a mod that's automatically doing it. You can place like 3 at a time. But the thing about the molds is they're reusable. So you don't have to like I only need to make this one and then I can use it multiple times. But yeah, there's just part of the survival aspect is it's like this is just a thing you gotta do when you're surviving. It's yeah, just part of the just hashtag village life. Center my thoughts. I need. But yeah, there is portions like there are some large clay things you need to make, such as jars. You can make jars which are really good at preserving, and they're a much bigger project. They take a lot more time to make, a lot more clay to make. And without my little Napster mod, I would have to place the blocks individually. They have got methods that made things go faster, but those mold discs, they still pretty slow. Sticks. Now I need. I remembered I planted these trees. The trees have only grown this at this point already because I use a mod. Oh, not a mod. I did a server option to make the trees grow really fast because slow growing trees may be accurate, but they're also kind of a stalling technique for games, in my opinion, in survival games. My axe didn't break. That's good. Now I have 32 wood. Oh, I'm sorry, Cassie. You reacted to it, so now I definitely have to find my at symbol. Okay, gonna try to quickly get that last 2 copper. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I thought it worked last time. I guess it does work. Okay, there's the first of 2 pieces of copper. There's the second. I am going to do all the blocks, but we got the 2 copper. I've got it. It took me today for 3 hours, but I got 40 pieces of copper and a piece of flint. I think the other reason why I like baking a bit more than just slightly more normal cooking is one, baking can last a bit longer because like if you make a cake, you don't eat it as a single meal. You know, you get to go back to it like if there's 2 of you, like 4 times, 8 times if you have small slices. And so you know you just get multiple nice little treats out of it. Same with biscuits. And for some reason people are just generally more appreciative when they get it. They're like, oh my gosh, a piece of cake, thank you. Okay, so I've also found some blue clay, a flint spearhead, and metal scraps. I am mean to you. It's I'm a big bully. But it's hard not to be mean to the little bunny. What are they going to do? Puff out their little cheeks and just slap their foot on the floor? Like, you don't need to look away. You can continue looking at the same thing and just keep right clicking. You just gotta be in the water. I look away just so I don't accidentally second click the shoreline again. Okay, 3 rocks. Oh yeah, you can skip rocks in this game. That's a cute little feature. Yeah, I don't normally put my my torches out unless they are on sconces because I will forget to take them out and fix them up. Just call me a feature. Well, I think you're wrong. I'm not cute. The tags wouldn't lie to me. Okay, so I wasn't able to finish my last bowl of mushrooms. Which, you know, is fine. Yeah, Ali, you are cute. Okay, so I am making a hearty turnip stew. Wood in there. Pick out some of the other candidates for firewood. And start a fire. Swap out the candidate. Okay, so I'm going to do the next stage to smelting my stuff when I get to the new home. I just need to decide what's important enough to keep and what's not important enough. I definitely need to keep seeds. Do I need to keep all the seeds, or do I just need to keep the flax and the onions and just live on onions for a bit? I can always come back here later for stuff. I want to keep the flax fiber because that's going to be important for things. So the biggest thing difference between like using different type of woods is that firewood takes, like, this is the time limit of the piece of fire that you just started burning. It goes slower for firewood. Character editor and swap. Tell me about that one feat choice, Fern. I am interested. I am interested and I am invested. And that last piece of firewood gets to live. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the trader. Give my... Don't you chase me. Gonna give him my fond wishes. You know, be like, best of luck with everything. I'm moving. He's probably going to cry and ask to be held. Hello. Sorry, I keep putting away. How about you tell me your name one last time, Vox? Oh, cracked ways is neat. Well, glad you recognize me, Vox. I'm gonna go sleep in your bed for one last time. And then I'm going to prepare for my journey. Best of luck on the island, Vox. Feel free to use my house as a storage hut. I will be back to pick up stuff eventually. Oh, flax. Yeah, if I come back in like a week, that stuff should be grown. I'm going to leave this here as well because each time I plant it, it has a chance to dying, and I can just get another one in the future. Okay, first step. Eat the last of my mushrooms. I am taking the flax with me. I am taking the copper with me. I'm not going to take the metal scraps or the flint. I'm going to use this now. I just got a message from Crunchyroll. Very nice of them. I'm going to start my farm off with just flax, turnips, and onions. What else should I be bringing with me in this chest? I have food, I have seeds, flint and sticks, my copper. Oh, I need my crucible. Put it away. Bubbles your way. The spare don't eat immediately food away. Put the resin away. Okay, I've got more slots, so I can be a little less picky. Oh, I need my mold. How long is he gonna take? 9 hours. Oh shit. Bad mold. Oh, I want my sconces. I will also take carrots and the rye. I've never grown this before 45 days. Yeah, that's a long time. I'm not going to my money. I will bring my money with me. And I may as well bring my cattails. I might need that. Little bit of food. I'll leave this cooking pot here. And like, yeah, I'm good to go. I just would like to wait for this. Yeah, it's not worth it. I can just make another one. I'm gonna miss that chipmunk. But yeah, I'm off to move into those ruins. Having a nice, mostly stone house. Just need to move out some of the gravel. Think that dock is fine. That's close enough. So closest, okay. That, yeah, that's cool. I get what it is. Also, an interesting thing from 3.5 was there were prestige classes that weren't, designed to get you to level 20. They'd be like just 3 levels or 5 levels. Because it'd be like, take this prestige class as a fighter to become the fighter that bites people. And so you get some fighting people focused special feats that make you just a little different to other fighters. A more realistic one was the Titan Bloods, which basically just let you have bigger weapons. Yeah, you use size up. I think the first one lets you have like one size up, and then you get to have two sizes up. I I had that in a pen and paper game, and then I took a feat called Monkey Grip, which let you wield two-handed weapons in one hand. So I was running around with two Colossus scythes as my weapons. Yeah, the some of the prestige classes back in the day. Yeah, Monkey Grip is fun. Some of the prestige classes back in the day were kind of like the Pathfinder 2 archetypes, where you get to have an archetype feat and you get to add a little paprika to your barbarian, where somebody else will add a little cinnamon to theirs. And it helps just make character classes feel a little more different. I think the evolution from having it as like a prestige class that's only 2-3 levels to a side archetype was clever. It helps make the progression feel a bit more natural. Instead of being a fighter that is hyper specialized in having Titan blood, you're a fighter that happens to have Titan blood. I understand what I mean. Also, 3.5 loved cleave. They had so many different feats for her. They had like ones that let you do a second cleave if your first cleave killed someone. Take take a 5 foot step. Your cleave hits everyone within range. But yeah, so now that I got the 40 copper, I need to make a charcoal kiln, because wood itself does not burn hot enough to melt the copper. Wood burns to about 800, and if we have a look at here, we need 1084 to start melting the copper. So I'll need at least charcoal to be able to do that. If I had gotten the brown coal we saw earlier, and I had enough of it, I could have used that, but charcoal's a little bit more renewable. So when we get there, I'll build up the charcoal kiln, which is a pretty straightforward thing. It's basically a hole in the ground. And then I will start working on turning those ruins into my home. Find if there was a usable bed there. Chef's kiss. It's I am actually a little excited about moving into the ruins, because I'm just this poor little bird well, fox technically, but we'll pretend the fox is a bird. I'm just a poor little bird that woke up in the middle of the wilderness on a little island, lost, confused, nothing but the clothes on the back. Scrounge together some flint to make some basic tools to just try to survive. Bit by bit, built myself a log, swam to another island, a slightly bigger island, built myself a log cabin, and now I'm out seeing the world, reserves of food. I need to fix my bubbles. I thought they were set to fade away, but like I lost a lot of my bubble settings and I forgot to look into them. So I hope it's okay for chat that they've just been here the whole time. I'll move my... There you go. It's over there now. You can all see my gear. Yeah, I was playing... I do remember back when I played Neverwinter Nights 2 Fractal. I was a... I was a fighter, and I monkey gripped into like a bastard sword and a long sword, and it gets to the point where you get the special sword, and I'm like, oh cool, it's got abilities and everything, but you couldn't use any of the abilities in your offhand. I tried to use the abilities, and he put down his monkey gripped large sword to hold that one, and I'm like, well, great, now my offhand is like a great sword. I'm using a long sword as my primary weapon, and this great sword in my offhand, and I was a little disappointed by it, but just because it didn't work out the way I planned, and I didn't know about the special longsword until I got it. I think I also hooked up with the druid. Just going to take that away. Oh, save. So the share button in that is if I had other people in this world with me, I could share pins with. I could share the pins. It doesn't auto share pins because you might be putting down a marker for yourself, like maybe I care a crap ton about this peridot rose sword thing. Oh wait, that's all rock. That's polished peridot. That's cool. This peridot thing. So I put down a marker, and you don't necessarily want one. So you go to delete it because it's useless. It would be annoying if the shared pins would then update and take it away from me. So you make it and you select the share option. You can go back and share something. Like maybe I found the clay and I've marked it, and you're all like, "Hey, where's the clay?" I can then go back to my clay, add a bunch of A's to the end of it accidentally, and smack share, and then you'd be like, "Oh, cool, there's the clay." I would admit that like the special longsword in slightly more modern games, just because our understanding of programming and developing stuff is a little easier, it probably would have been something that you could. I would hope when they showed you this special sword in the future that it would be the special weapon of your choice, and also because I know it has story significance, the special sword. You can also then just change it into another form in case you were only using special paladin sword until you got the feat for special paladin axe. Excuse me. Okay, here we are. We are home. First off, pit kiln, because that takes time. Pit kilns have to be at least a 2x1. Ah, shit. 2x1 hole. I need to fill that up with wood. I didn't bring a single basket with me. I have blundered. I should have taken a basket with me. How do I make baskets? Not that one. This one. Only 3? Okay. Fingers crossed I got enough. Hello? Okay, so I think this, when they made this, they made that attic unenterable on purpose, but a bad boy has spawned in it. Okay, let's empty the old inventory of the crap. Okay, excellent. Now, making an axe. I'm going to make the bare minimum size pickion, so I should only need 4 full stacks and 1 partial stack of at least 4. That's not an axe head, that is a bunch of flint. That's an axe head. Okay, I have a water source, that's good. Not that close to trees, but that's fine. This is why planting trees is important. If I started streaming and I had no idea other than make it run on. Ah, is it really even enhanced if all it does is just run on more modern computers? Like, I understand that they might have had to have changed the whole launching code, and so, you know, it's easier just to sell it as a new software than making everyone basically have to uninstall and reinstall their computer to work with the new stuff. What am I meaning? I'm going to plant this seed here. Yeah, what I mean is, like, they probably had a reason why they couldn't just let you use your old thing, because it's like, oh, we have to change how launchers work for the modern day computers. Changing the launcher could mean they need to change the save file setup, and just easier to just say, hey, new version of the game, hooray. But yeah, just need basically 5 stacks of wood. Oh no, it fell in the hole. I'm not going after it. Okay, so there kind of is a story. I know how to trigger the beginning is I need to talk to a treasure hunter, and he will ask for a type of pickaxe.